Fact 1. 7 years locked with no verdict. Let's start with the obvious. Melly's been locked since 2019. That's 7 years in a cell without a final verdict. 7. Do you know how insane that is? That's like pressing play on a movie in 2019 and the loading screen's still spinning in 2025. Let's put it in perspective. In 2019, TikTok was still a baby app, NBA YoungBoy was just starting to really go mainstream, and half of y'all were begging your mom for AirPods. Fast forward 7 years, TikTok is basically running the music industry, AI's writing rap lyrics, and people out here making drill remixes out of SpongeBob theme songs. Meanwhile, Melly's still waiting on the same trial. 7 birthdays behind bars. 7 Christmases eating ramen for dinner. 7 Valentine's Days with no Valentine, unless you count your cell bunk. That's not just jail time. That's a whole era. Most rappers don't even stay hot for 7 months. Melly somehow stayed relevant through 7 years. And yo, it ain't just the length. It's the psychological weight. Imagine being 19 when you get locked, and then watching the world keep spinning while you sit on pause. Friends move on, music changes, fans grow up, beefs come and go, but you're stuck in the same 4 walls. It's like watching everybody else's Instagram stories, while your own life is buffering. Here's the kicker. Legally, you're supposed to have the right to a speedy trial. Keyword, speedy. Ain't nothing speedy about waiting almost a decade for a retrial. That's like ordering a pizza, and it's showing up when you're already on your 2nd diet plan. So why hasn't this been wrapped up? Simple. Mistrials, lawyer drama, and a justice system that loves dragging its feet when the cameras are watching. For Melly, this isn't just about fighting charges. It's about surviving time itself. And yo, don't sleep on the irony. Dude's career basically froze in place, but somehow his music stayed alive. That's like hitting pause on your phone, but the track keeps playing out loud anyway. People still singing, "Murder on My Mind," like it dropped yesterday. 7 years without a verdict isn't just a fact. It's the setup for everything that comes next. Because if the waiting game this crazy, you know the rest of the story gon' be wild too. But here's the thing. Melly wouldn't even still be sitting if that first trial hadn't gone off the rails. And trust me, the way it flopped, it felt less like court and more like an episode of Maury gone wrong. Fact 2. The mistrial that flopped. So boom, June 2023. Melly finally gets his day in court. The cameras are rolling, headlines buzzing, fans locked in like it's pay-per-view. The world's watching to see if the kid with "Murder on My Mind" is walking free or walking into a life sentence. And then plot twist. Mistrial. Now, for anybody who don't speak legalese, a mistrial basically means the jury couldn't agree. 12 people sat in a room for days, 12 regular Florida folks, probably arguing over public subs and who left the AC on. And after all that, they came back with, we can't decide. Bro, y'all had one job. Guilty or not guilty. Pick a lane. Instead, they turned the biggest trial in hip-hop into the world's most expensive game of I don't know. Picture this. Half the jurors looking at Melly like, yup, he did it. The other half scrolling through his Spotify like, nah, he too talented to lock up. That's not justice, that's a group chat that can't agree on where to eat. One guy wants Chick-fil-A, one girl screaming Taco Bell, and then somebody in the back like, let's just order pizza. Boom, mistrial. And here's the worst part. It's not a win. A mistrial ain't freedom. Melly didn't walk out that day throwing a block party with balloons. It just means the state gets a do-over. Like, imagine beating a video game boss with 1 HP left, and then the game crashes and tells you to start over from the beginning. That's what this is. Round 1 didn't stick, but round 2? They're bringing reinforcements. Think about the money wasted, too. Prosecutors burned through millions just for the trial to end in shrugs. Taxpayers basically funded a Netflix miniseries with no finale. We sat through the pilot, binged the whole season, and then Netflix hit us with, this show's been cancelled due to budget cuts. Straight robbery. And here's where it gets spicy. Mistrials can cut both ways. For the defense, it was hope. Like, yo, if they couldn't all agree this time, maybe they won't next time either. But for the prosecutors, it's motivation. They left that courtroom tight. You already know they went back to the office like, bet. Next time, we're cooking him extra crispy. So that mistrial didn't solve nothing. It just stretched the timeline, kept Melly in limbo, and gave the case more attention. Instead of closure, we got cliffhanger. Instead of a verdict, we got vibes. Bottom line? That mistrial was the reset button nobody wanted. For Melly, it was another year of waiting. For hip-hop, it was another headline. And for us watching, it was the legal system basically saying, stay tuned for Season 2, dropping never. And just when you thought Season 2 was around the corner, nah, the courts hit snooze again, pushing the retrial so far back you'll be watching it with a pension check. Let's talk about that 2027 date. Fact 3. New trial date is set to 2027. Let's talk about this retrial date, 2027. Yup, you heard me right. The court system basically said, see you in 2 years, champ. Bruh, that's not a trial date, that's a retirement plan. That's so far away Melly gone, need a time machine, just to catch up to his own case. By the time he steps back in that courtroom, we might have flying cars, Drake's great-grandson dropping albums, and AI making better drill beats than half the producers in New York. Here's the real madness. The retrial was supposed to be in September 2025. That's what the people were waiting on. But now, boom, push it back another 2 years. It's like ordering food, watching the driver pull up on the map, then suddenly seeing, your order's been delayed until next week. Man, come on. Now let's break it down. 2027 means Melly will have been locked for 8 years without a final verdict. 8 years. That's 2 presidential terms. That's a whole kid going from diapers to 3rd grade. That's your PlayStation 4 turning into a dusty antique, while the PS7 dropping in stores. And yo, in hip-hop years, that's like 3 lifetimes. Rappers blow up and fall off in a matter of months now. Melly's been frozen in time since 2019, and the fact he's still relevant is low-key miraculous. Most artists can't survive 1 missed summer, let alone 7. The bigger picture? This delay ain't random. It's the system dragging its feet. Courts move slow on purpose, especially when the case is messy. More time means more evidence, more strategy, more ways to drain the defense until they fold. To them, this isn't delay, it's pressure. But for Melly, it's torture. Imagine waking up every day knowing your whole life is on pause for years. He don't know if he's walking out a free man or staying forever. That's like being stuck on the world's longest cliffhanger. Netflix could never. And the fans? By 2027, the hype could be dead, or it could be legendary. Either folks move on, or they're foaming at the mouth for his comeback. There's no in-between. So yeah, 2027 isn't just a date, it's a gamble. The court's buying time. Melly's losing it. And hip-hop? Just waiting to see if he comes back to a hero's welcome or an empty room. But yo, here's the thing. It ain't just the calendar messing this up. Part of the delay is because somebody on Melly's own team been playing a side mission that could flip the whole case upside down. Fact 4. His lawyer's under investigation. So here's where things get spicy. Melly's top lawyer, Raven Liberty. Yeah, the one supposed to be saving him from life behind bars, is now under the microscope herself. Word is, she's being investigated for witness tampering. Translation. The court's basically saying, we think you might have been trying to remix the testimony like it's a SoundCloud drop. Now, here's the wild part. This ain't new. This investigation been cooking for like 18 months straight. A year and a half of detectives peeping her moves like nosy neighbors across the street. Imagine trying to do your job while the feds lurking behind the curtain like Scooby-Doo villains waiting to pop out. And check it, no official charges have been filed. Yet. Which makes it even more sus. Like, if she really guilty, why you're dragging it this long? But if she innocent, why you're still snooping like TMZ on a slow news day? It's giving. We don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna keep watching anyway. The problem for Melly? Having your own lawyer under investigation is like trying to win a basketball game when your coach is arguing with the ref instead of drawing up plays. You're supposed to be defending me, not defending yourself. Bro's legal defense turning into a 2-for-1 trial special. And you already know the prosecutors love this. They're probably sitting back like, perfect. If we can't take Melly down directly, let's stress out his lawyer until she folds like laundry. It's messy, man. Messy like trying to eat wings in a white hoodie. But here's the real kicker. This whole situation makes the jury and public side-eye the defense team. If the lawyer got drama, the case looks shaky. And in a trial this high profile, that could flip the whole game. And trust me, the legal headaches don't stop there. If you thought the lawyer drama was crazy, wait till you hear how Melly's clashing with the actual jail he's stuck in. Fact 5. Lawsuit against the jail. So check this. November 2024, Melly's legal team said, enough is enough, and straight up sued the Broward County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, Bro didn't just fight his case, he started beefing with the jail itself. That's like losing a basketball game, and then slapping the referee on the way out. Bold. So what's the lawsuit about? They claimed Melly's being held in straight-up inhumane conditions. We're talking solitary confinement vibes, barely any visits, and almost zero contact with the outside world. Basically, Melly out here living like he's starring in Castaway, except the volleyball's replaced with a jail wall. The defense painted the picture like Melly's not in prison, he's in Guantanamo Bay. Bro's doing time out like a toddler, except instead of 2 minutes in the corner, it's years locked in a box. They threw words like cruel and unusual punishment around heavy, hoping the court would see Melly not just as an accused rapper, but as a man being broken down by the system. And here's the chess move behind it. This ain't just about comfort. It's about optics. If you can convince the jury that Melly's being treated unfairly before his trial even starts, you start building sympathy. Sympathy in a jury's heart can sometimes tip the scale more than evidence. This lawsuit was less about getting Melly a window view, and more about making him look like the underdog trapped by a corrupt system. Smart play. But here's the catch. Lawsuits against the jail are hard to win. Why? Because the jail always got a magic trick up its sleeve. They never just admit, yeah, we willed and dot. Nope. They dress it up in fancy legal language. Which brings us to their response. Because when the jail fired back, they didn't deny it, they just hit Melly with the ultimate spin move. Nah bro, you're not in solitary, you're in administrative segregation. Man, stop it. That's just solitary in a Gucci tracksuit. Fact 6. Administrative segregation. So after Melly's team sues the jail for treating him like he's living in a broom closet, the sheriff's office claps back with their favorite smoke and mirrors trick. Nah fam, he's not in solitary confinement, he's in administrative segregation. Bruh, that's not a difference. That's just solitary with a new outfit. That's like calling broke people financially free spirits. Or calling jail food gourmet mystery cuisine. It don't change the reality. You still in the box. Let's break it down. Administrative segregation basically means you're separated from the main population. You eat alone, you exercise alone, and you talk to nobody except maybe the walls. It's isolation with extra paperwork. Sure, they say it's for safety reasons. But let's keep it real. It's still the same four walls driving you crazy. The jail's excuse? They said Melly's too high profile to be in Gen Pop. Too much attention, too many enemies, too many risks. And that part makes sense. If they put him with regular inmates, it's chaos waiting to happen. But let's not act like that makes it better. Whether you call it solitary or segregation, my boy's still staring at the ceiling tiles counting how many cracks look like clouds. Now imagine doing this for years. No real human contact. No consistent visits. Just you, your thoughts, and maybe a guard sliding you a tray of mystery meat through a slot. That type of isolation breaks people down. And the jail acting like they're doing him a favor. Like, see, we're protecting you. Yeah, by locking him in a mental torture chamber. Thanks guys. It's corporate rebranding at its finest. Same punishment, new label. It's like if McDonald's called the McDouble a beef efficiency module. Don't let the language fool you. It's still 2 sad patties and a slice of cheese. So when they say administrative segregation, don't picture Melly living comfortably with extra privileges. Picture him in solitary, just with fancier paperwork attached. The truth is in the conditions, not the name. And because living in administrative solitaire wasn't enough, Melly tried to pull his biggest card yet, asking the judge to let him out before the trial. But the judge? Man, the judge swatted that request faster than you ignoring a scam call. Fact 7. Pre-trial release? Judge said nah. So after sitting in administrative solitaire for years, Melly and his team tried to make the boldest play yet. Pre-trial release. Basically, they pulled up to the judge like, yo, he's been in here too long without a verdict. Let the man touch grass until the retrial. And what did the judge say? Denied. Fast. No hesitation. No debate. The judge swatted that motion like Dikembe Mutombo blocking a layup. Not in my court. Now, on paper, Melly's argument makes sense. The Constitution says you got a right to a speedy trial. Right? Sitting in a box for 7 years, don't exactly scream speedy. But the prosecution came back with that heat. Flight risk. Dangerous. Serious charges. Basically, they painted a picture like if Melly touched the streets, he'd vanish faster than your homie who says, I'm on the way, but never shows up. And let's be real, when you're facing 2 murder charges, Judges ain't quick to toss you back into society. They don't care how long you've been locked. In their eyes, letting Melly out early would be like giving a kid the car keys during a thunderstorm. Risky, reckless, and guaranteed to end messy. The way the denial went down, it was brutal. They didn't even soften the blow. No, we'll reconsider later. Just straight up, "Nah fam, stay where you at." Imagine asking your crush out after years of waiting, and she says, "Yeah, nah." That sting different. But here's the deeper part. By denying him release, the system basically told Melly, "You're finishing this wait whether you like it or not." That means he's stuck until 2027 at minimum, unless something big changes. No halfway, no fresh air, no reset. Just more years on pause. For Melly's fans, this was crushing. They were hoping for a miracle, like seeing him come home, maybe even recording new music before the retrial. Instead, the door slammed shut harder than the cell he's been staring at since 2019. So yeah, the pre-trial release was the Hail Mary play, and the judge intercepted it, ran it back, and danced in the end zone. Cold-blooded. But if that wasn't enough smoke, the court decided to stir the pot even more, dropping receipts on Melly's OWN defense team. And when the judge starts pulling out paperwork, you already know it's about to get messy. Fact 8. Judge drops the receipts. Aight, so boom, July 2025. Judge Martin S. Fine walks in like, "You know what? Let's stir the pot." Out of nowhere, he orders the release of documents tied to Melly's own attorney, Raven Liberty. Translation: "We airing out everybody's business today." Bruh, imagine being on trial for your life, and instead of focusing on you, the court decides, "Nah, let's see what your lawyer been up to." That's like showing up to school with your homework done, and the teacher grading your mom's cooking instead. Make it make sense. Now, this wasn't random. Remember, Raven been under investigation for witness tampering for 18 months. No charges yet, but the suspicion been hanging over her head like a storm cloud. And when the judge ordered those documents released, it was like throwing gasoline on the fire. Suddenly, the defense team ain't just defending Melly, they defending themselves. This move basically told the world, yo, if Melly's lawyer shady, then maybe the whole defense is shaky. That's a psychological game. Juries eat that up. You don't even need evidence. Just the idea of dirty hands can sway people. And prosecutors? Oh, they love this. They were probably in the back of the courtroom doing the Birdman hand rub like, "Yes, sir, keep that pressure on them." The comedy in this is unreal, though. Picture trying to fight for your freedom while your lawyer is side-eyeing her own file folder, praying the receipts don't ruin her career. That's like your barber trying to give you a clean fade while his own lineup looking like he got in a fight with the Clippers. You trust that? Nah. For Melly, it's a nightmare. The defense is supposed to be your shield, but when the shield got cracks, the enemy don't even gotta hit you. They just wait for it to fall apart. Every page of those released documents is another chance for doubt, distraction, or delay. And let's be real, delays are the name of this whole case. This ain't about justice moving fast. This is about who can survive the longest in a chess game, where every move takes 2 years. So when the judge dropped them receipts, it wasn't just paperwork, it was a signal. A signal that this trial ain't just Melly versus the state. It's Melly versus the system, versus the narrative, and maybe even versus his own defense team. But while the courtroom turning into love and hip-hop, legal edition, let's not forget, Melly's still a rapper. And even locked in a cell, his music ain't skipped a beat. Fact 9. The career still buzzin'. Aight, let's be real. Most rappers vanish the second they stop dropping music. Hip-hop is savage like that. One summer you lit, the next summer people saying, "Who?" But Melly? Bro been in a cell since 2019, and his stream's still doing Olympic numbers. That's crazy. Songs like Murder on My Mind and Suicidal don't just stream. They live rent-free in playlists. Kids who were in middle school when Melly got locked are now in college still screaming, "I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind." Like, fam, that song older than some of your Jordans, and it's still in rotation. And this is the part that gets wild. Melly's not even out here recording new tracks like Gucci did when he was locked. Nah, he's surviving off his old catalogue, features, and pure controversy. That controversy is his marketing team. Every headline, trial delay, mistrial, lawsuit, keeps his name alive. Hip-hop don't forget a dude whose life literally mirrors his music. It's dark, but it sells. Now, let's talk about the fanbase. It's split like a bad haircut. On one side, you got the diehards screaming, "Free Melly." At concerts, tattoos on their arms, defending him on Twitter like it's their day job. On the other side, you got people saying, "Nah, keep him in there." They see the charges and want the book thrown at him. Here's the twist: both sides fuel the buzz. Whether you love him or hate him, you're talking about him. And in rap, talking about you is the whole game. Clout don't care if it's positive or negative. It just cares if it exists. Even bigger? Other rappers still tap in. YNW B-Slime, his little bro, been holding the flag. Collabs, features, industry talk. It all keeps Melly in the conversation. That's loyalty and smart branding. And yo, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Melly's case makes him infamous. People love a villain story just as much as they love a hero. Half the fans see him like Tupac 2.0, misunderstood, targeted by the system. The other half see him like a cautionary tale, talent wasted on violence. Either way, it's attention. At the end of the day, Melly's career is proof of one thing. In the internet era, you don't need to be free to be famous. You just need a story wild enough to keep trending. And Melly's story? It's been a headline factory for 7 years straight. That's why his stream's still going crazy, even while he's eating cold trays in a Broward County cell. And that brings us to the big finale, the million-dollar question. Is all this just the slow death of a career, or the setup for the nastiest comeback hip-hop's ever seen?